Hello everyone, welcome to Linda K Info. Please do well to subscribe to our channel, like, comment and share. Tinubu is under fire over presidential pardon for drug offenders. Now, opposition parties and political figures, including the African Democratic Congress ADC and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, have condemned President Bola Tinubu's recent decision to grant presidential pardons to dozens of convicted criminals, including drug traffickers, describing the move as a grave setback to Nigeria's anti-drug campaign and a dangerous affront to justice and morality. You would recall that the president on Saturday released a detailed list of 175 individuals granted the 2025 presidential pardon. Now, among them, the late nationalist Herbert Macaulay, the late Major General Maman Vatsa, and Miriam Sanda, who was sentenced to death for killing her husband. Now, in former President Atiku's word, he said, Atiku said, Tinubu's reckless use, and this is his own word, he said, Tinubu's reckless use of presidential pardon undermines justice and emboldens criminality. The recent announcement of a presidential pardon by President Bola Tinubu has, as expected, provoked outrage across the nation. Ordinarily, the power of presidential pardon is a solemn prerogative, a moral and constitutional instrument designed to temper justice with mercy and to underscore the humanity of the state when properly exercised. It elevates justice and strengthens public faith in governance. So this was seen on Atiku's handle on Twitter. And now, so what amuses me or what sparked outrage in me is when I saw some Delta State residents happy over the return of a once notorious kidnapper known as Kelvin Onira. Kelvin Onira was, they said he was a notorious 44-year-old kingpin. He was a dreaded leader of a kidnapping and robbery gang that was implicated in the killing of many police and military officers, as well as some of his victims. And then after this, I'm going to play a video of how some residents of Delta State were happy that, oh, Kelvin is back. Now let's take a quick look at who Kelvin is. He's a 44-year-old kingpin. He was a dreaded leader of a kidnapping and robbery gang. Then on 25th September 2013, a combined security team of the Nigerian Army and DSS operative arrested Kelvin Prosper Oniara, a notorious terrorist, kidnap kingpin and armed robber who has been on the wanted list of security agencies. Kelvin Oniara, who is also known as Kelvin Ibrowe, masterminded the kidnap of Barrister Mike Ozekome on 24th August 2013 along Auchi Benin Road. Now, this same Kelvin that Delta State residents are celebrating as though somebody would fought a freedom fighter is back. This same Kelvin kidnapped a judge of the Edo State Judiciary. This same Kelvin that has been celebrated, that is being celebrated for his release, kidnapped a top female official of the Federal Inland Revenue Service. He also kidnapped Dr. Chudinwike, a former deputy governor of Anambra State, who was killed by Kelvin while in captivity, and several members of the NYSC and security agent. And then people are coming out to celebrate him, that he is back. For what exactly? To cause more menace to the society? Let's watch this video and see how he was being celebrated. So let's just take a look at the percentage of offenses the presidential pardon was granted to, the offense committed. For drugs, 29.2% of drug dealers were released. So we're talking about 29.2%. If you check out of the 175 that was granted a presidential pardon, a presidential clemency, 29.2% out of 175 is about 51 persons. Yeah, about 51 persons out of 175 were released. Now, unlawful you have to do your calculations. Just check 29.2% of 175, 24% of 175, and know how many persons were released under each category of crimes committed. Now, for drugs, 29.2%, that's about 51%. Unlawful mining, 24.0%. Homicide, 13.5%. Fraud, corruption, 12.3%. Hijacking, 5.8%, firearms 2.3%, robbery and theft 2.3%, kidnapping 1.8%, human trafficking 1.8%. And so now this just leaves me at why were those who are into drugs released more? Why were they released more? So we can only say we only pity the General Baba Mawa, the MD of NDLEA, who is working tirelessly to make sure that drug traffickers are caught and jailed. He works tirelessly to make sure that those who are into drug traffickers are caught. Only for the president to pardon all the jailed convicts. To me, I feel like it's an anti-deterrent gesture by the president, because this man works so hard to make sure that fake drugs, traffickers and what have you are being curtailed in this country, only for our president to pardon all the jailed convicts. And why is he working? Why is the man working? The man should just go and rest. That's what it means. And then you talk about Maria Masanda, who killed her husband. As you all know, in 2020, Miriam Sanda was sentenced to death by hanging by the court for killing her husband. But however, instead of executing the judgment, she was kept alive until 2025. Then the president has granted her pardon. Is that how the law works? I don't know. This woman stabbed her husband, cutting the life of her husband short. Yeah, like Rufai said on Arise TV News today. He said, where the family of the man, this woman, Mariam, was the family of her husband, of her late husband, informed or told about this release? Did they accept it? Or should we just say it's a presidential clemency and then they should let go of the pain or the hurt that this woman caused to them? So this and more is what is currently trending. You can put in the comment section what you think about the presidential clemency by Bola Ahmed Tinubu. If at all most of this those he released, then it gets me to say, if he could release people like this, then how about Abba Kyari, who protected the lives of the citizens, who almost used his life in protecting the life of the citizens? Abba Kyari, he didn't release. So, give me your opinion. I want to know what you think about this presidential clemency, this presidential pardon. Those he released, those he granted pardon, do they worth it? Or there are people who you think are still in custody that deserves this pardon more than those who were pardoned right now? Do you think these people who were released are deserving of the release? Because for me, I feel like there are people who actually deserve this release. People who didn't do anything, but because they have nobody to speak up for them, because they know nobody in the government, because they have no godfather. That is why somebody like Mariam, who was convicted over 5 years ago, death by hanging was was her penalty. But they didn't do that. She's still alive, and then now she has been granted mercy. Why? She has repented. Repentance for a grievous crime as murder, for a grievous crime as kidnapping, as killings. And then people who have been in other people who have been in jail, who has been under custody for 20 years, 25, 30 don't deserve pardon. Then those who have just spent 5 years behind bars for grievous crimes are the ones being granted pardon. Drug traffickers, murderers. So this is where we come to the end of our news today. Please do join us next time as we promise to bring you more and more news headlines. Thank you very much for joining us. Please do also subscribe to our channel, comment, like, and share. We love you.